So Kissimmee was established in the middle of the 19th century, and our early economy was really built around cattle, ranching, agriculture, and industries like that.
I'm fourth generation. My great-grandfather, George Hopkins, came here and bought this land in 1902. I know some early newspaper reports talked about him buying an additional 5,000 head of cattle somewhere in like 07 or 08. So he was mainly in the timber business. That's why he bought this place, for the timber.
I'm a sixth generation Osceolian. My family, they always had orange groves and things like that, but not really in the cattle industry. People took care of each other. I think that mentality still exists today, even as we welcome in new people from all over the world.
Hamilton-Disston came here from Philadelphia and bought 4 million acres of land in our state. Included in his purchase was the sugar mill in St. Cloud, which is right between Kissimmee and St. Cloud, and part of it is still existing today.
And actually, I think they said in the 20s, when the trains started coming to Florida, they finally got the railroads here, and they'd put cattle on rail cars and haul them to the market. There's one of the pictures shows them getting ready to load some cattle to go to Jacksonville, but there were multiple packing plants here in Florida. Orlando had one, Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa.
When you look at that period between 1925 and 1970, that is where you see the shift from maybe smaller row croppers, and you start to see these large, expansive ranches being developed. Mainly, one of the biggest things that happened was the change in genetics, right? So what Kissimmee is famous for, Osceola County, in the early 1930s, Henry O. Parton brought in a trainload of Brahman cattle, so a different species of cattle, different from the European breeds like Angus and Hereford, because they were subtropically adapted cattle, and they were able to kind of withstand our heat, our parasite challenges, our seasonal flooding. So these cattle really changed not only industry in Osceola County, but changed the entire Central and South Florida cattle industry.
With Hamilton-Disston choosing St. Cloud as his sugar plantation, this impacted Kissimmee and really is what helped our efforts to drain our swamplands and make it suitable for crops. And that really kick-started our area's economic growth. Steamboats would transport goods like cattle and citrus, and also introduced some of our early tourists to Kissimmee.
So the rodeo started in the 1940s. The Silver Spurs Rodeo was really a call for what could Osceola County do, what could the residents of Kissimmee and Osceola County do to support the war effort. You know, there was a large drive after the bombing of Pearl Harbor to buy war bonds because the United States was going to enter the war.
Starting in the 50s, we started getting more and more improved grasses, and people started fencing pastures and changing breeding seasons.
So the vertically integrated system that we have today wasn't necessarily the system we had in the 20s and 30s and 40s. So we had a lot of ranchers that would raise maybe full-grown beef cattle. It would not be the type of beef that you're accustomed to eating today. A little more about red meat yield than it was about quality grade, which is where we're at today.
The only industry, agriculture, until the mouse came.
Nice to see is that while we can hold on to our heritage, we can still embrace new ideas, new people, and have Osceola still be such a wonderful place to live and work.